Hello, I am Xavier Cimino, Managing Director from the Paris office, in charge of the analytics practice in the life science industry for Europe. As such, I was involved in a very interesting project that we ran for a life science company 2 years ago. This project was about how to be able to use the data and the analytics in order to be able to better serve patient needs and also to better understand the customer needs in the context of a new healthcare ecosystem. The company decided that the data was an enterprise asset and wanted to put in place an open innovation data lab. As such, they decided to move forward with Accenture as a key partner to be able to develop a data innovation lab. So the solution that we put in place was based on 2 pillars. The first pillar was a strategic council. The strategic council was giving to the pharmaceutical company, 1, the vision and the roadmap to develop analytics in the company, 2, the ability to tap into some senior leadership and some external thought leaders to be able to come up with some new business questions and topics that would interest the pharmaceutical company. The second pillar was based on what we have called sprint. A sprint was there to actually answer a specific business question. It is a time box 50 man days exercise that starts with first assessing what are the internal and external data available. Second, use the statistics and the advanced analytics technique to be able to come up with results. Third, use the data discovery and data visualization tool to present the results to the business. The objective of the sprint is to actually assess the outcome and then identify whether or not there is a need and a value to actually industrialize the way we are using this data. Let's take one concrete example in the domain of sales and marketing. The objective of this sprint was to be able to measure the marketing effectiveness. The way we did that was first to collect the data in order to be able to segment doctors into categories, looking at what is the potential of each doctor. Second, to measure the promotional effectiveness, looking at the investment that are made per category of doctor and looking at what is the impact of those investments over time. Then third, create alternative allocation scenario to be able to play with the different levers that were addressable on the market. By doing so, you are able to come up with a new way of using the money more wisely in a more productive context. So a second concrete example of sprint is the sprint around Net Promoter Score. So Net Promoter Score is a key technique to be able to measure satisfaction from the doctor in the context of customer relationship. In order to do so, we do 3 things. First of all, we start crawling the data that is available from the doctor. So we take all the feedbacks from the doctor in a text format. Then we apply text mining techniques in order to cluster those feedbacks into some specific categories. Once we have those categories, we then starting to analyze the relationship between those root causes and the fact that the doctors are more or less satisfied by the pharmaceutical company. By doing and applying this to a large scale of data all over the world, the pharmaceutical company is actually able to monitor over time the level of satisfaction of their customer and therefore increase and improve their customer service. So the results of this data innovation lab is twofold. First of all, it has some internal resonance. The way we measure it, the way we measure success of this data innovation lab is to look at how many stakeholders from the business are submitting new business questions to the data innovation lab. The more questions we have, the more successful we demonstrate this program is. The second way of measuring it is the external knowledge of this program. And in this case, the pharmaceutical company actually won a specific award externally with an IT magazine that actually declared that this program was a specific project of the year 2 years ago. Then, why is it successful? 2 reasons. First, spending little money to be able to demonstrate a lot of value in short term. Second, by making some noise around how the data can be used and how you can bridge some knowledge gap by using data that come from either internal cross-functional data or external publicly available data that are there and not always used by the company. In conclusion, there are 5 key lessons learned to be able to put in place Data Innovation Lab. The first one is that you need to be focused on the business questions that actually matters for your company. It is ultimately the most important thing, and in the case of this pharmaceutical company, it was really about understanding customers and patient needs. The second key topic is actually to be able to consider data as an enterprise asset. Data is not the ownership of one specific function. Data is the oil for tomorrow. So data needs to be considered as an enterprise asset. And it has to be a clear mandate from the top management to do so. The third lessons learned is to be agile. Be agile means that you need to be able to come up with a way to use data which is flexible enough to provide value, whatever the data set you have or whatever the techniques you need to use. The fourth lessons learned is around make noise. You need to share, you need to show the results of the data. You need to make it accessible to the business by using the right tools and by having the right storytelling around the results of your data. And then the last lessons learned, which is critical as well, is that you need to make sure that the IT is actually a key enabler to be able to scale at the right level, meaning that you don't want it to stay at a lab level, but you want to make sure that it's then industrialized so that everybody can use it and can replicate it.